was a good victory for the kids. I thought we played great defense, rebounded the ball well, and paid attention to detail and game plan, shared the ball on the offensive end. They put together almost a complete game. I think we need to tighten up a little bit of our zone offense. But, some great individual performance. I thought Anthony was really good today. But as a whole, it was a good team effort, and it was nice to play well at home in front of what I thought was a loud crowd, a group of people that really came out to support the team. So I was appreciative that we had a nice push from the fans that gave us a boost to start the game. And then as we needed some different boost throughout the contest, they picked up the pace along with the team. So, and when Big City made his, I'm not sure what I'd call it, the fans were really into it and excited for the team. So it was a good overall effort, and with the quick turnaround, not a lot of time to celebrate. We just really put that in the win column and move on to the St. Louis game.
Can you talk about that play, City's play, what you saw there and what it looked like from your vantage point?
Boy, it looked funny. It was a good defensive play. I mean, he showed some cat-like quickness on the poke away. Then speed like Carl Lewis, and then a great finish down the other end. In all honesty, we work on that layup for the guys that have been to practice before just about every day, where it's our perfection layup. We've been doing it as a player for probably, as a coach, for the last better 15, 20 years. So to see it actually happen in the game and have the big guy, that may have been one of, every fifth game you get that from a big guy, but it actually paid dividends, and I was hoping he'd slam it home and really get the crowd going.
What was the turning point, Coach? When do you feel the game turned in your favor, in the second half especially?
I really couldn't put my finger on it. I kind of thought it was a back and forth for a while, and then, I thought the play where Anthony made about 6 back-off moves kind of put it away late in the game, but I thought the game could have went either way for a while. I can't really put my finger on one play or one thing that really happened.
What does it take to be that guy? Anthony, in the last 2 games, has made 2 pretty big shots that momentum-wise. What does it take to be that guy? What does it mean to have that guy?
Well, it's the ultimate confidence from your coaching staff, from everybody in the building, and from your team. There's no question what's happening at that point from anybody. I mean, the team knows, the coaches know, everybody in the building knows. So for the player to have that ability that I'm the guy at that point, I think that gives you the confidence. And he's a scorer. Anthony's been a scorer since he's been in the 7th grade. And I think when you give a scorer that ultimate green light down the stretch, more often than not, they're going to get a good shot off, or in many cases, he's made some tough ones. But to see him, I'm not sure if everybody saw what he did, but with 9 on the clock, he drove it and was looking at the clock to see how much time he had. He went one move, they stopped him. He came back, they blocked him again. He went the other way, ball faked, and then knocked down a 3. And for everybody who's seen his maturation process, in the years past, 2 years ago, the ball would have hit his hands and he would have shot with 9, not even a move. Last year, it would have been a situation where maybe it'd be one move and then a fadeaway with a guy hanging on him. His maturity level and his starting to have that feel for the game is, I think, what's starting to make him really play well. It was great to watch, because I've talked to him about that situation now for the better of 2.5 years. And to see him make that play was it's rewarding as a coach to see that.
John, you lead by as many as 13 in the first half. They come all the way back and take a lead. Earlier in the season, would you have been more concerned that your team wouldn't have been able to respond to that? And just talk about how your team did respond to losing the lead.
Well, a couple of things happened. As they went to a standing 2-3 zone, which we hadn't worked that much on in practice the last couple of weeks, just for kind of who we were playing, what I was anticipating or expecting. And then Anthony and Javorn were both on the bench. So really our 2 best kind of drivers or zone guys. I thought the guys weathered the storm well. We got some pretty good looks, although they were all 3s, and Freddie just wasn't hot. He wasn't knocking them down like I was expecting or anticipating, and they did a nice job. I thought the 3 that Anthony made, getting him back in with for the last shot and a half, I thought that was big to give us a little boost, a little momentum, and a 3-point cushion going into the break.
Is that a maturity issue with these guys? As the season goes on, they mature more and they can weather this?
I hope so. I mean, they're mature, and I just like the guys on my team. I mean, I think they're good kids. Their attitudes have been very good. Their effort, for the most part, has been pretty good. So I think that carries over to the court. And every now and again, you get some good bounces and good breaks because of the type of kids you have.
Gary Curry had 5 assists, 1 turnover. Maybe not a spectacular game, but how do you see his game tonight?
I liked his game. I mean, he did a great job defensively. I mean, he was getting over on ball screens. They ran a ton of stuff, ball screens, and I thought he did a great job defensively of making Jones work. force some guys into some tough shots, and he's starting to actually get a feel for what I'm looking for on the floor. When I want to run different things and what we're looking to do. And that's nice to have a senior point guard as is kind of hand in hand with the coach and what we're trying to do.
Now 5-2 in the conference and 2 wins during the week where you've had a little bit of adversity. It's got to be probably about as good a week to go into where you're going on the road now.
Yeah, I mean, it's about as good as it could be. I thought we played well. The kids have been responding to coaching. They're getting better. They're enjoying being around each other. When you go on a road trip like we're going on, you have to enjoy each other's company because it gets to be, monotonous a little bit, and it's a long trip. So, hoping that they continue on the path that they're on, and we just push forward and go one game at a time.
Was the last road trip monotonous?
You guys are there. No, that was a joyous road trip. We actually touched down and everything was good. So for them to face that adversity and have the walkthrough, we actually walked through in a mass room this morning because I told them we couldn't find an airport, so we did the mass room. So thank you.
Great. You do much practicing on those shot clock beaters and buzzer beaters, and because you seem to be picking up some last minute points here and there.
Not really. It's just come through the flow of the game. I was aware at the time when the shot clock was going down, so I just tried my best to get a good look, and unfortunately it went down.
Javorn, when you hit that, did it feel like that kind of took the wind out of Rhode Island a little bit?
Yeah, I think he made that into the game as well. When he makes shots like that, I personally think he's the best player on the league when he plays tonight. So, yeah.
And did you have kind of some pent up energy for the second half after having to sit for a little bit of foul trouble at the end of the first?
Yeah, I did. My legs felt fresh in the second half. And coach kept me in the game down the stretch. And fortunately, we came out with the win.
Javorn, it seemed like you guys were having all kinds of trouble against their zone for the second part of the first half. In the second half, you seemed to figure it out a little bit. What was the difference?
We had, when we came in the locker room in the first half, at the end of the first half, we just talked about penetrating the zone, getting to the basket on it, and hitting the middle of the zone. So that's what we did, and we got easy looks and easy buckets.
How big is this win now to have the game that you guys had Wednesday night to come back here in a game that was kind of disjointed, but to still find a way to pull it out?
I think it was huge for us. Now with 13-7, 5-2 in conference. I mean, with we got a big week coming up ahead of us, but we definitely got the momentum going into this week. We got St. Louis, who's a very good physical team, and we got St. Joe's, and we're away for both of those games. So we definitely got to come back with ultimate focus tomorrow in practice, and prepare for this big road trip ahead of us. We know we have the opportunity to really make another statement in this league if we go on the road and take care of business. So, I think myself and my teammates are really going to come focused tomorrow for practice and kind of turn the page on this win, and just kind of refocus on this week's task.
City, after you saw your teammates miss a couple of dunks, you figured safer go layup on your breakaway there?
Yeah, I really was trying to get the left hand bang, the little Brian James I do sometimes. But I was surprised I got the steal, so I just laid it up.
Are you going to hear about that though from people? Or?
Oh no, it was. I tried to throw it home. I tried to get the crowd up their feet and the back rim.
Sidney, can you walk us back through that play? How did it all come together?
I just see my man. DK told me like the first half is coming to him when he was at the top of the key. Then the second half, I seen the same play happening on the other side. So I just overplayed it, tipped the ball. I was surprised I got it, bobbled it. Thought I was a guard for a minute. And I just went.
When's the last time you got to do something like that?
Last time I did something like that, I think it was like prep school, high school, something like that.
Anthony, we smiled, but that was a big play. Did that lift the team up and kind of because you guys were up 8 when the whole thing was over with? That must have been a good feeling.
I think it definitely lifted the team. It was a huge play in the second half for us. I think City really came out and played with a high level of intensity tonight, and he really gave us a spark coming in off the bench. And he was definitely a big contributor to the win tonight, and I'm proud of the way he played.
URI, 20 of their 31 shots in the second half were three-pointers. What did you guys do to keep them out of the lane and force them to take tougher shots?
We focused on their shooters. We know Richmond and the other European guy is a shooter. So you know, we try to focus in on them and just rebound the basketball pretty much. And that was the key. You know, make them take tough shots, tough challenge threes, and that's how we win the game.
And did a nice job on packing it in on their pick and roll offense.
Yep.
Javorn, one of the things that people talk about with the young team is that phrase of learning how to win. Is that a lesson that you guys have now think that you've begun to master?
I mean, I think that we all know how to win. It's a term. It's in terms of how ready we are to go out there and win. Because like we go out in some games, we start out with a lot of energy, go play hard, and that's how we play, and that's how we're supposed to win. But other games we come out flat, and we see ourselves getting the hole early. And I think this season when we're up at halftime, I think we're like 9-0, 10-0 or something. So like that right there tells you that when we come out and play hard and we go at the team first, we're definitely a better team, and that's how we win games.
As inconsistent as you've been come out strong, sometimes flat, do you sense that that's changing? You've had a real strong game Wednesday, you came out with energy today. Do you sense that the inconsistency may be going away?
Yeah, I think so. Though against Richmond we took a bad loss, but we came out in the first half and we played hard. We just came out flat at halftime. But I mean, we're normally coming out since conference play started. We came out and played pretty good in the first half, with an exception of the Xavier game. So we're getting a better feel for how to come out of the year.
So when you're called to go into a game, what are you looking to supply this team? Obviously, some rebounds.
Rebounds, hustle points, anything to do with my team win. I just give my body up to my players, trying to win, man. That's all I was taught. Since back in the day, man. To win, all I do is win.